Good evening. How everyone doing tonight? God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Irma J. Spirit Divine. I'm here to give you a little short news and a word on tonight. Now, first we're gonna start with the package deal. Bennett had President Bennett had signed the $95 billion for military package. So the package had passed by Senator yesterday. That will provide for military aid to Ukraine and Israel replenish in United States weapon system and give community assistance to civilians in Gaza. So this 95 billion package gonna cover a lot of things. It's gonna cover a lot of things. So what they've been waiting for the package deal for Ukraine. So it's gonna cover a lot of things. And I also heard on today the crisis for black health. You're dealing with DEI. DEI. In the workplace. You know, HR expert explained DEI, the importance of practice, this in the technical industry. So DEI refers to the practice, and policy intended to support people, who come from various backgrounds and give them the research they need to their workplace. So a lot of workplaces have this coverage, DEI. So DEI is the framework, that take into account factors that race, gender, and sexual orientation, so the team can find ways to help employees, mobilize groups succeed. Now, DI medicine. Medicine is very important. DI healthcare. Help, to address these inequality in healthcare to improve patient care. Now, the beauty influence. Now, this young lady here had died. She was influencer Jessica Padway. She died as a cervical cancer. She was 36 years old, and she known for her health. Hairstyle, YouTube. She passed away on March the 11th. Now, in the faculty in her hometown, Georgia, after battling with cervical cancer, Padway, who leave behind two kids, and a husband, you know, and considered one of her original YouTube influencers after being misdiagnosed, so with the thyroid cancer, for 7 months, she was hospitalized, for extremely bleeding and enormous pain that she referenced to as labor. Like she was finally referenced to who diagnosed her with the stage 3 cervical cancer. So they misdiagnosed her. By the time she went to somewhere else, it was she was at a stage 3. So she was misdiagnosed. Unfortunately, her reminder of countless ways of the healthcare system fail the patient. So Jessica Hadway had misdiagnosed system, and she had died. The healthcare system had failed. The patient. Now all ladies, when you receive a diagnosis, please, when you receive a diagnosis, it's for all ladies. Go to another doctor and get you another result. Get you another diagnosis. Make sure the doctor said that's what you have. You go to the doctor, they tell you one thing, okay, you go get a second answer, a second opinion. That's how you do that. Go get a second opinion. You know, she went by with this, and it's not her fault. It's the doctor fault that did misdiagnose her with something. They diagnosed her with something else, and otherwise she had cancer. In time she had another doctor to diagnose her, she was already at 3-stage cancer. You know, so and they banned DEI. So I requested DEI remain because they say that was a good health care. So time she went to them, she was already diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. You know, but oh Lord, that's all we can do. Get diagnosed, get diagnosed the second time. The second time. And no telling how long she had it. She was hospitalized, you know, hospitalized for 7 months, for 5 of. She was in the hospital for 5 of, and that wasn't even the case. That was a misdiagnosed. Otherwise, she had cancer, and she was in the hospital for 7 months for something, you know, something that she didn't have. And she could have been getting treated for what she really had. So the doctors have to be careful when they're giving people a diagnosis. You know. Oh, so that's that on the news. I have a short word. Sometimes short be powerful. So calling of Matthew. The purpose of this, Matthew was a sinner, and everyone treat him like Jesus not supposed to sit with him, not supposed to eat with him, because he a sinner. You know, uh, God changed people, just like with Paul. Paul was about to go kill the Israelite, but God had Jesus to stop him right then and there and transform him. And now, he wants to kill them for talking about Jesus. Nah, that's all he talks about is Jesus. So God can do a number on people, just like he did with Matthew. Matthew turned out to be a good disciple. So Matthew chapter 9, verse 9 to 13. So as Jesus had went on from there, he saw a man named Matthew, sitting at the tax collector booth. Now follow me, he said. Now see, Jesus, that's all he got to say. Look, he'll look at somebody who he want. Oh, you just follow me, and they don't ask no questions. They just follow. Follow me. And he told him, and Matthew got up and followed. Matthew was a Jew, who was appointed by the Romans, to be an area tax collector. Now, he collected tax from the citizen as well as from merchant passing through the town. Now, tax collector was expected to take a commission, on the tax, and they collected, but most of them would overcharge, overcharge and keep the profit. Though the tax collector, was hated by the Jews. So it wasn't just Matthew, it was the whole little group that was doing taxes. They was keeping the profit. And then they start overcharging the people, because of their reputation, for cheating, and because of their allies, with Romans. So when Jesus had called Matthew to be one of the disciples, Matthew obeyed and followed. He decided to leave everything behind. Because see, when the disciples, when Jesus picked his disciple, he said, come on, let's go. And you can't bring your wife, you can't bring nobody with you. You just have to come on. So while Jesus was having dinner, Matthew's house, many tax collector and sinner came and ate with him and his disciples. So when Jesus had visited Matthew, Jesus didn't look as he was had a reputation. It doesn't matter, who he is sitting with. He is here for the lost. And see, Jesus not asking no question about your reputation. Just like when he was talking to Samaritan, he already know her life. Just by looking at her and checking her heart, checking her faith. And he said, go get your husband. She said, I had a husband. He said, no, you had 5. But he didn't look at her like that. He looked and stand in her face, look, give me some water. I don't care who you is, you know. And so Jesus said, I'm here for the lost. I'm not here for somebody that got a good reputation and very perfect and this and that. I'm here for the lost, you know. And so Jesus said, I wasn't looking for his reputation, you know. And so it doesn't matter, you know, who's sitting with him. You know, he is here for the lost. You know, Matthew's former position was well known, you know, and people did not yet know his new life. You know, see, he changed over, you know, because see, sometimes people ain't gonna let go. You know, they ain't gonna let go. Now they're gonna look at him, you know, they're gonna see his new life, but they still ain't gonna believe it. They're gonna still treat him like he a sinner, you know. And as a disciple because of his past, you know. So people did not yet know his new life as a disciple because of his past, you know. Now he's a disciple now. So when he go around with the disciples along with Jesus, they don't look at him as a disciple. They look at him of his past. That's all he know him from. You know, his past. You know, and when the Pharisee had saw this, they asked his disciples, why does your teacher, you know, eat with the tax collector and a sinner? You know, why do he eat with the sinner? Because that's what Jesus come down here for. And all us prophets, you know, you come for the lost, you come for the sinner. You know, and so they was worried about their own reputation. And see, that's what it is. Some people, they cannot sit by you, you know, because sometimes whoever they sit by, you know, they worrying about their reputation. And see, that's what they say. You know, they was worrying about their own reputation, you know, worrying about Jesus' reputation, you know, and it's the reason why they don't sit with people like that. They didn't want Jesus to sit with them. You know, they was worrying about their own reputation. So Jesus declared that he had come to call the sinner, not the righteous. You know, not the righteous. The righteous don't need help. You know, just like you have children. You know, one is bad, but one is good. You know, and you're going to be wondering why you always at this child, you know, and not at the other one. Because the other one know right and wrong, but this child here don't. And you're going to chastise the one that don't know. So Jesus going to always look at the sinner and not look at the righteous. So on the hearing this, Jesus said, it is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. And that's why I set an example with the kids. You know, so you got two children. One is sick. What you gonna do? You're gonna see about that sick child. And the other can stay home with the mama, you know, with the daddy. But you're gonna take that sick child for help. You know, and that's how it is with a sinner. Jesus figured they need more attention than the righteous. They need more attention than the righteous. The Pharisee constantly tried to trap Jesus. You know, there was more concern with maintaining their own appearance, you know, of holiness, you know, than with helping people. See, Jesus was all about helping people. And that's what we all supposed to be doing. You know, all prophets, all churches. You know, we're not supposed to look down on somebody with a past. We're not supposed to toss them aside and look at them like this here. You know, Jesus didn't do all that. Jesus knew about Matthews. He knew what he was doing. You know, and look how Jesus changed his life. He a good disciple. You know, Jesus knew he can change him. That's why Jesus said, come follow me. You don't need to mess over nobody else's taxes. You don't need to take no profit. You don't need to get over on somebody. You know, come on and follow me. So Jesus took him under his wings. you know. And so, but go and learn what this means. I desire mercy, not sacrifice, you know. For I have not come, to call the righteous, but the sinner. Now Jesus desired the merciful, heart, and the heart like this, heart like his. Now the mercy cover over sin and faults and sees beyond what a person does not, does to who a person is. Now Jesus sees through all this here. Jesus can just look at you and sense, who you are, what you did, and what you gonna do. He can look at you, you know. And so all of us need the mercy of God for sin and fault of falling short, you know. And it's because, see, we born in sin. So none of us can say we perfect. I'm not perfect. I got my mouth to control. All of us got something sinful that we need to deal with. All gonna fall short, at one point in time, because we born in a central nation, so we gonna fall short, and how we fall short, you have to realize you fall short, and so Jesus didn't worry about Matthew's reputation. He didn't worry about none of that. He worried about how he can change him and bring him closer to God. Jesus' job was for sinner, and try to teach and try to bring them closer to God. See, Jesus' job is to change them and then bring them close to God. And so, and God too. God don't look at the righteous or what good they're doing. You know, See, Jesus' job is to bring everybody, all sinners, to God. And so nobody never want to sit by him. They didn't want to talk to him. They didn't want Jesus to sit by him or talk to him. Jesus sitting at the table and eat. And Jesus looked at him like a regular person. He didn't look down on him. He looked at him like he was a regular person. And that's how we all supposed to do. Everybody falls short. When we in these positions, we not supposed to look down on somebody, and criticize. See, Jesus didn't criticize nobody. He didn't look at him up and down, roll his eyes. He didn't do none of that. He took him in as a regular person. And see, it's all about how you treat people. Jesus treat him, and made him like one of the families. And he fit in with the disciples. I mean, they didn't like him at first, but they had no choice. But they fit in, and it worked out. So after Jesus called Matthews, he was no more wanted. He didn't want to get over on people no more. He didn't want to try to just get over and just try to do sinful things. All that was done with him once he saw following Jesus, because he realized Jesus different. It's just something about him. I want to do right and follow him. And so he had changed, and he fit in like one of the disciples. So I say it was short, but it was powerful. And we have to look at that. We're in them position. We have to look at sinners and all. We can't roll our eyes at them and look down on them. Don't want to sit at the table with them. Don't want to sit next to them. Don't want to shake their hand. We have to take a look how Jesus had handled matters, and that's how we have to do it. So we also talk about the crisis of this young lady had died. And she was hospitalized for like several months for something that she didn't even have. And when she got a second, she just got worse and worse. So when she got a second opinion, it was too late. She was at 3-stage cancer and she died. That was a hard thing for me to hear. I had to put this out, and it was I think DEI stepped in. She went got a second charge, and that's when they had found out she had the 3-stage cancer. And so they was trying to ban DEI at one time, but this seemed like good health care, it pretty much be at the workplace, you know, but the DEI, they specialize in finding the problem. They found her problem, but it was too late. But she stood in the hospital. I can't believe that. Stood in the hospital for several months for something that she don't even have, and she was getting worse and worse. And so DI medicine is very important. It's a healthcare that address these inequity, in healthcare. The patient outcome, improves the patient care. Defines the problem, finds the problem. And they deal with all race. They deal with all race. They're supposed, it's a policy that's intended to support people who can vary your background and give them the research they need to drive the workplace. You know, so this a clinic. I mean, this a healthcare for the workplace. And the most of the time, they give the patient what they need to make them feel better and give them the strength to keep on going. But she got contact with them, and they were the one discovered that she had the cancer. And so we also had talked about Mr. President Bennett. He signed a package deal for $95 billion. To cover the um military, in Ukraine and Israel. The military aid to Ukraine and Israel replenishing for the weapons, system and give humanity assistance to Syria and Gaza. So uh, I'm sorry about this here. So that's why I had said for all ladies. All ladies are all men. When you go to the doctor and you're real sick and you get a diagnosis, please go somewhere else and get a second opinion. Go get a second opinion somewhere else. Because this lady stood 7 months in that hospital for something that she did not have. So you got to be careful when you're giving people a diagnosis. Maybe she could have lived if she would took them 7 months getting the proper care for the cancer. So that's all I have for you today. We talk about Matthews, the calling of Matthew because he had a past. A lot of people thought it was strange that Jesus sitting at the table eating and talking with Matthew. Do your master know who he is and what he did and all this kind of stuff? Jesus don't look at that. So we got to, Jesus set an example for all of us, how to treat sinners. Not rolling your eyes at them, not looking at people up and down. He called him and he treated him like a regular disciple, and he fit in. He didn't do. He didn't want to do what he used to do, getting over on people. Taking a profit. He was doing all that. And so he turned out to be a good disciple. So that's all I have for you tonight. Y'all have a wonderful night. Be safe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.